with alacrity.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Big Nerve Gaming. We are still here in the
Without
Fifth Eye, in Torment. Previously, we failed a very easy puzzle. I failed an easy puzzle. I'm not going to blame y'all. So, now we're just hoping that the other two NPCs I haven't talked to yet here, we hope things working out better. Or when they give us concise, simple quests or whatever, and we were able to accomplish our goals and have an episode that, I don't want to jinx it, doesn't take 67 hours. So, let's talk to Almus. For a moment, you're not entirely sure if you look upon a construct or a human. The plastic sheen of this pale man's skin suggests artificiality, but if he's a construct, he's so cunningly constructed, so close to the human baseline that the illusion is nearly perfect. Except his head is a trifle too large, his eyes black buttons. Then you realize the truth. He's a visitant, his home many millions of miles distant. Almus, my name. What can you tell me about yourself, Almus? He lifts his great head slowly and fixes you with a dolorous gaze. I am Almus. I am the keeper of souls. Last of my kind, only survivor of a civilization that spanned time and space. Now they are gone, their stars black, reality's winds carry me. He turned his head back towards his drink. What happened to your people, boss? The highest caste of power controlled we minds ideas for all souls of an empire. A great web we wove, shining with power, but other nodes, they winked away until only I remained. His fingers drummed on the tabletop. An image of a people I carry, but no place to make it real. Our domain lost, I alone, and paralyzed with indecision and fear. Did I destroy them? I was not discontented, or was I? How'd you get here, boss? He looks around. Not my time, not my place, yet when the connection to home broke, a beacon shone here. 5 minds drew me, a light in darkness. They were not a light to understand, they were safety, surety. While I knew whom I find, in this place I have clear thought, untarnished. How did civilization die? A doubt arose, it took seed, took flight. These thoughts connected to our network, these questions spread like disease. Trust, mistrust, rooted, nodes decohered. Without nodes, without control of dreams, the civilization falls and then they are gone, I alone remain. What was the doubt that destroyed a civilization? I do not know, I do not recall. I know I recall. This is like screaming that I'm reading his thoughts. I mean, maybe it's not, maybe it's like, I know you know. I do, yes. It was my doubt, mine. My question, I asked only, what if our way is not best? What if our people have desires of their own, wants that we do not give? He places a single hand across his eyes, and then it slowly slides away. The others began to see and question. Questions gave way to self-doubt. Self-doubt gave way to self-hate. I only wanted to know what is best. How do we become better? Not to tear us down, but I showed a bright light on behavior, on truth. But our center would not hold under truth. Was I to blame? Is civilization's end affixed on me? In dreams I see their faces, but not their minds. Tell me truly, is the fault mine? Yeah, that's what I think. What if they just cut you off? That wouldn't have got rid of everybody. Horror dawns in his face. Oh God. Yeah, I guess. This is why I cannot feel them, why I retain only an image. He closes his eyes and concentrates hard. Around the bar, other patrons wince and cover their ears with their hands. You feel the brushing of a great and terrifying howl of anguish. Oh God. He whispers, I am alone. I feel an echo, but no true response, as if they hide. He pulls his hands apart, and you have the sense of a vast network of power contained between them. He raises his hands before his face, and then crumbles his fist. The energy vanishes. I have severed the last connection, the last hope. they exist, they must exist without me. Let me be forgotten. No more, he whispers. No more. He drops his head and weeps. Okay. Now, on a technicality, while it was quite awful, I did solve that pretty quickly. No?
Natural.
No one? Not loving that? Okay. Maybe Sir Arthur will help. The man has leathered, dark brown skin and hair as white as the full moon. He peers at you from beneath long stripes of eyebrows, sucking on a long pipe that has been made from either segmented wood or the leg of an enormous insect. His clothing is blue and formal, like a priest or a professor of some kind. All over him, on his belt, in every pocket, both shoulders, even hovering in the air around his head, are glowing, chittering devices of all kinds. Let me guess. He sucks from his pipe. A ball of green steam floats away from his mouth. You're a traveler, that much is clear. An explorer. You have the look of a farmer visiting a teeming metropolis for the first time. He taps various relics on his person. Never seen the like, have you? Fortunately for you, I adore educating folks on the subject of Numenera. I've also traveled extensively and seen much of the world. Go ahead, ask me whatever you'd like to know. A metallic bug-like creature bursts inside of his head, begins glowing. It crawls into his ear and he pauses as though listening. After a moment, the bug scales out and resumes his perch. He leans forward and lowers his voice. So you're a mind reader, eh? Well, I won't hold it against you, but Arthur would walk into a bar of psychics without mental pretenders. Yeah. Arthur would not walk into a bar full of psychics without mental projection, so don't expect to read much from me. We're gonna ask about the bug first. That's kind of cool. I want one of those. Nerman told me. He points to the bug now bearing itself with his shock of white hair. He can detect that sort of thing, and then this one blocks it. He pulls out a circular device from his pocket. I don't like letting people know what I'm thinking. Too dangerous. He puts the device back in his vest. That's the new disc, of course. My first psychic blocker used to melt brain matter. Provoked people to no end, especially those who didn't know their friends were psychic. That's great. Goodness forgive me. I'm Sir Arthur Torment, traveler, explorer, and lifelong student of the Numenera. I've seen everything between here and the Steadfast, and I've studied Numenera of all kinds for decades. There is no man more knowledgeable about the ninth world than he who sits before you, I assure you. Why are you in this bar, then? Knowledge, of course. I've traveled all over the Steadfast and beyond, but I had to know what was beyond the beyond. Who knows how much time I have left on this world? I wanted to see for myself. Is this the same question? Why are you here in this tavern? Libations, he lifts his glass enthusiastically. I'm trying to determine the nature of these fantastic liquids. Also, the people here are quite informative. No better place to learn about a city than its taverns. He takes a deep swig from his glass. What are the Numenera? His eyes light up, as due to a number of devices on his person, though you cannot see why. The Numenera are practically everything around you. We live among the detritus of uncountable civilizations. Many of which are more powerful than you or I can even imagine. Everything they left us is the Numenera. Weapons, power sources, medicines, gels, plants, animals. Why, even the very grit in the ground and shins in your pocket are examples of Numenera. Such a broad term of the order of scholars categorize the Numenera with terms like oddities, ciphers, and artifacts. Of course, any true student of the Numenera considers these categories too broad still. I have my own distinctions, but that's neither here nor there. Takes a puff. In any case, it's the Numenera that power the wonders of the world, from explorers' esoterics to the data sphere to the drinks in this very tavern. How would you categorize them? Ah, fascinating question. He sets his drink down and leans forward. I'll give you the brief version, because you obviously have places to be. Put simply, I'm less interested in how useful a device is than in its means of function. He takes a quick puff and sets that down as well. Now, the technology of the prior worlds is far too incomprehensible and varied to us to truly understand which civilizations created what, but we can define some basic categories. You count each one on his fingers. Many devices deal with fundamental forces: gravity, magnetism, sound, light, even time itself. Automatons and created intelligence fall under artificial life. Biotechnology covers a wide variety of Numenera. Many plants and animals that we consider natural were in fact created by prior worlds for some arcane purpose. The bloom may fall under this category. Someday I'll hire a team to find out if I can find anyone reckless enough. Hey, yo, future quests. There are chemical devices, as well as those dealing in various forms of matter, metals, liquids, and conversions between the crystals and conversions between the three. His eyes light up. The most interesting are also the most esoteric. Nanotechnology, which covers much of what common folk consider magic, transdimensional tech, and technology related to the data sphere itself. He leans back, reinserting his pipe. These are just the classifications I prefer. The Numenera defy classification. How is Drit part of the Numenera? Run your hand through the soil, son, you find it's hardly soil at all. It's filled with the microscopic remains of ancient, unknown technologies and structures, commonly known as Drit. Why even some places the Drit is even alive. I don't recommend sleeping on the ground in those places, by the way. Terribly unnerving for the survivors. I don't remember mentioning the Order of Truth, but I'm going to ask about it, because, you know. You might call it organized religion, except it's not a religion. All members of the Order call themselves priests and their founder the Emperor Pope, but they don't worship anything per se, except perhaps their own intellects. I understand this town has its own branch of the Order. They can answer your questions better than I. I want to see if he has something else for me besides just deep dive lore info on all the Numenera. How do you know so much? Cipher gathering was always the main source of income for my family. Alas, no more, but I've extended that penchant into pure research. It is not arrogant to say that mine is one of the greatest laboratories in the Steadfast. Why, an entire university has sprung up around my home. I specialize in research and experimentation. Prospective assistants apply almost daily, which is good considering how quickly we churn through them. He clears his throat. I know more about the world. Of course. Ask me about anything you like. I've traveled all over the Ninth World, throughout the Steadfast and beyond. I even know a little about this part of the world, the so-called Beyond the Beyond. I met explorers of all kinds, listening to countless stories. So what would you like to know? What's beyond the beyond? You're in it, friend. They call it the Sage Protectorate, or at least this portion of it. There's Sage Sagas. There's Sagas cliffs in the blue nearby. I've heard of places like Harif and Moral Jolius far to the east. I'm most interested to explore this valley of dead heroes I've heard so much about. A place to inter the dead, bound to be some very interesting relics in a place like that. Truth, I'm only a recent arrival to this place myself. You'd do better speaking with the locals. Why do they call this the Ninth World? Interesting question. Takes a preparatory swig from its cup. One would think it's because 8 worlds came before us, but even a cursory study of the Numenera reveals far too much breadth of variations if there had been a mere 8 prior worlds that created it all. And one might ask what qualifies as a world. We could say the first to the 8th worlds were defined as the most powerful, influential civilizations of their eras, but even that falls under the most basic reasoning. If the previous 8 worlds we refer to were the greatest of the ancients, then what qualifies this world, wherein we cannot even understand the most basic theories governing a time augur, to be the 9th? It's an interesting question. The truth, I'm afraid, is that we call this the 9th world simply because that's what we've decided to call it. No more and no less. That's about right. Ask about something else. I'm good. Alright, he didn't have nothing else for me.
Something to do.
So we're going to stop back and talk to Dama. Because I think Alma's adversary, Alma's the Soulkeeper, what about him? His is a tale of personal tragedy and sorrow, though perhaps the end result is not the worst of the people under his cast statistical care. But he is not the adversary. Are we sure? Okay. Is it Arthur? Arthur? No, he's a wanderer and a collector of knowledge, but his interest appears to be entirely beneficent. He's a strange one, it's true, but no, he's not the adversary. Let's talk about something else. Okay, let me hit tab real quick.
I'm ready. Fine.
I've talked to everybody and recommended everybody to him. But he thinks there's an adversary here. Run that one by me again, Dama? How do you fight the adversaries? I think you might use your labyrinth to trap it. Don't do it. He steeples his fingers under stringing scissors. Though, wait, it might work. It might. He looks at Thebaros and Ziobi. They exchange a wordless communication and he shrugs. We use the spotter, someone trained to recognize their scent, and we give them the briefest engagement enough to whet their appetites and bring them to a battlefield of our choosing. The adversary will tempt you with something. It'll tap into parts of the mind you had forgotten, ignite a desire. It will offer bargains, tastes of power, and try to draw you towards its way of thinking. The key is to keep control of the imagery and metaphors your minds conjure together. That's where I'd come in. Therbos leans forward at the table, his gaunt face seeming even more drawn. I'd feed words and stories to our spotter, help him build an internal story that seemed to mirror what the adversary told, and I'd lay a pathway towards our battlefield. He'd walk down that pathway, and the adversary would be extruding itself into our world right alongside him. And then we'd close off the exits and get to work cutting it to pieces. So, tell a story, resist the adversary's metaphors, build in the details of your hardened mental space, draw it in, then use your familiarity with the place to destroy the bastard. He swallows the rest of his drink. If you're going to try, and again, I can't emphasize enough that you should seek our help, but if you do it alone, gods, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you do it alone, be careful. People here? Sure, but most of them could hear us. Who do you want to gossip about? The others burst out laughing. He gestures around the bar. They've all got their stories. Some of them aren't from this world. Some aren't even real. The summons another peal of laughter. There's Theros, Ziobi, and Leto. Oh, and Fariak. We own this place together. We fought in all manner of wars, battles, and conflicts. We traveled for some, worn Esper helmets for others, or protected ourselves across the world. But the worst of the adversaries. They were the true test for all of us. They forged our friendship tighter than any other experience could have. Best part is, we sacrificed our lives, friends, and our sanity for a city that'll never know. They keep on with their daily lives and just assume the rash of madness is some effect of the Numenera. Give it the best part of our minds, they don't even care. Doesn't matter to me what the rabble think, but it's nice at least get some professional recognition. We've been over this, Therbos. We don't do it for ourselves. Boros. We don't do it for ourselves. We do it because it's the right thing. Yeah, if you're doing it... you know what? Keep talking, folks. I can stay out of things like this. Sure, saving lives of people who flinch when they see me coming. I love seeing mothers snatch their children from my path, clearing the insects from my bedrolls, and the next important step in knowing I took action. Because the ingrates and Sagas cliffs won't even sell me a damn clean sheet. If they were dead, at least I could steal their sheets. Who do you think the adversaries would go after once all the citizens are dead, friend? You think they'd head out into the world, leave your mind glowing bright behind them? I could shield myself no problem. I did it when they came out, remember? Just like you. Yes, I did, but I found help, and we hunted those bastards down and wiped most of them out. You? If you're alone here, you get tired of having to hide your true self around them and start cursing at them just so they notice you. He turns and holds his hands up. You see what I have to put up with? Ask for a modicum of respect instead I get mockery. I don't know why you have to pay attention to this old gallows glass. That's all for now. I'm good. I'm just interested in seeing if there was like any information about another person that could be here. Oh, I'm here. There we go. Unstuck. Okay. I'm gonna say I'd like a drink because I'm hoping that'll get me in for a treat, friend, a real treat. Assuming you call the possibility of toxic reaction a treat, of course. We've positively identified some of these are safe. Smaller subset here are as inhibitors or hallucinogens. We've got a few that are well chancy, and sometimes they kill people. Some of the chancy ones. You got this strange black ichor, thick enough that it's almost chewy. There's a pink sludge that's a known entheogen, but its strength varies and sometimes kills people. We have one that smells like Eltabon fruit, and we sometimes use that one to get rid of stubborn grease stains. It's acidic, but well, maybe it's an acquired taste. We're riding on one of these trains, so... No, that's not where the chancy drinks again. The pink sludge sounds the most innocuous. He raises an eyebrow and a heavy glass veers over to the tap. The tap opens, filling the glass with an ever-present pink slop, and the glass drifts over to you. Fairylight dusts his hands off theatrically, though they never touched your glass. He grins. Drink carefully, don't overdo it, but you've already quaffed it. It's thick and flavorless, but the effects are fast-acting. Your muscle sees, including your heart. Death snatches you so abruptly that you hardly notice the transition. Whoops.
I can't die.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Death counter 3? You ain't got nothing for me. You're generally useless. The indigo tide represents justice, compromise, and the greater good. It's the tide of something. You can pause and check it out.
You're back! Adventure awaits! Somewhere.
There's nobody new in here, right?
Action!
Alright.
Here I come!
Screw it. Back outside. Okay. So, is there anybody else? If anybody recalls, before we walked into there, we were trying to help the weird bug thing that lives over here. Is it a bridge I can create to cross? Let me go talk to that guy, I guess. Doesn't seem like any of these other buildings are enterable.
Which one of you Calesthesias is the one that likes me?
None of us do, Eratus.
Are any of them lying?
Possibly.
Loss of self. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this. Her hands cradle her flesh temples like a crown. Good, you're back. Talk loud, it eases the pain. Angry, yeah. A sneer of her lips brings the image of the ghost from the Fifth Eye to your mind. You remind me of someone. A ghost in the Fifth Eye Tavern.
I'll remember that.
What? No, you're crazy. But the sudden widening of her eyes suggests that you've hit on something. Stop talking about her. It makes her louder, but I'm not her. Sorry, but I want to hear about the woman in your head. She growls under her breath, but does not respond. Scant thoughts. Fighting only hurts you. Let it go. So if I ask again, will be the same? Okay. Talk about the shining vial. Why? It's important to her because it's just hers. I don't want to lie to the woman. Or if I do, I want to at least wait until I've got, like, well, actually, no, she's got some points. Alright, let's try that again. Shiny vial. Because the woman in her head is saying that it's the woman in the head's vial. So I'm going to just try to nab that. Alright, let's do that. Hey, got the 40%. Her fingers tighten over the vial, then loosen. Alright, she says, looking at desperately unhappy. She still seems somewhat relieved when she hands it over. Star's Kiss. Next enemy that makes a melee attack in this character gets knocked down for 1 round. Active for 1 round. Nice. I want to hear about the one in your head. Okay. Do I have to get myself killed to go visit the labyrinth? I haven't thought about that. Clearly I gotta do something with that woman and that. It definitely appears to be like...
It is done.
Oh. Pick something up there.
All right.
Interact with that. This house has reduced rubble when part of the cliff face collapsed. There's evidence that the squatters have slept here recently. A ragged blanket, rotten fruit peelings, and footprints in the dust itself. Something scratches deep within the rubble. It sounds like someone or something is in there. Hello? Dig deeper. You call partway inside, pushing aside boards and a thin slab of slate. A small girl gasps, throwing a hand up to block the sudden light. She's young, no more than 10 or 11 years old. She's made herself as small as possible to fit inside the tiny gap in the rubble. Her hair is dark and curly. She pulls herself deeper into the rubble, away from you. What are you hiding in there? She puts a finger to her lips and tries to shoo you away. You hear a voice behind you. I told you patience would pay off, lads. Oh, son of a bitch. Some thugs stroll over. They all carry weapons at their sides, and they walk with the cocky assurance of those who don't expect to need them. I swear I checked this hovel. She wasn't here. No one was. How? No one was. How did this draft find her so easily? He gestures dismissively in your direction. Don't fret it, beggar. The thug looks you up and down, then calls out in the direction of the rubble. Come on, little bird. Doesn't matter how good you are at hiding. You had to come out sometime. The girl shudders, huddles behind you, keeping you between her and the thugs. Even so, it's obvious she's not sure about you either.
Don't let them take me, please.
Why don't you want to go with them? One of her men interrupts. She's lost. The little urchin ran away from her home. Her mother asked us to find her and bring her back safely. That true? No, they're bad men. They want to steal me. Kidnappers, and that's just crude. We're delivery men, that's all. The means and motivations of our employers ain't none of our business. He sighs, dropping his facade. He turns to you with a look that pleads for understanding. But alright, yeah, there is a slaver who put up a fine bounty for me to bring her back. It's all legal and none of your business. Best you stay out of it. He says the words kindly enough, but his colleagues' hands are on their weapons. Not like I want to work for slavers, but jobs are scarce as it is. You can't take me. He found me. He has to discover his right. He raises an eyebrow, but you smirk, playing his face. That's so, Wolf Spider Jack. What do you say? Is she coming with us, or are we taking her from you? Ooh. Let's see, we got options here. This guy doesn't want to be doing it, so we might be able to persuade him. To try and intimidate it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to use the scan thoughts. Sure. Yeah. We're running out of points. We really need to go back to that inn. Success. He mulls over what you said. He scowling as he does. Skist. He says. Fine, I'm out. He storms off, no looking you in the eye. He's right, damn it. I can't face my family after doing a job like this. Come on, lads. Non-conflict resolution. Oh, baby, this sounds like it's gonna be a good episode.
To take me back to that woman. I've never met anyone so cruel. When she found me the first time she even... My apologies. I'm still out of sorts. You have my thanks and grace, sir.
No problem, boss. For a minute, it looks like she might hug you, but the last moment she seems to think better of it and pulls up a half dozen steps away. She collects herself, standing straight with her shoulders back, and then she nods. The gesture so polite it's almost formal.
My name is Rin. My home and hearth and bread are yours to use. Except I don't have any of those things.
She blushes then, looking around self-consciously. How long were you hiding in that building? She blinks little as if confused or surprised at your question. Then she looks around, shifting nervously from foot to foot. This is my place. This is where I sleep. This is your house? No, this is just where I was staying. I ran away. My home is a long way away from here. Where are you from? She looks out at the horizon and makes a vague gesture. Really far away, but I'm not exactly sure what direction. She looks around a little, almost as if she was seeking a familiar landmark. Has to be a long way from here. My home isn't anything like this. There were trees upon trees. The trees here aren't trees like. The young girl squints off into the distance. After a moment, her eyes go distant. You realize she probably isn't going to finish her sentence. What about the trees, man? What? No, it wasn't. Without seeming to realize what she's doing, the girl brushes her hand through her hair and sees the side of her head has been shaved. Large stitches run along her scalp, holding together an ugly cut longer than her hand. The wound is purple and angry looking, only just beginning to heal. It can't be more than a week old. What happened to your head? What the fuck? Her body grows tense for a moment, her eyes darting around as if deciding whether or not to run away. She glances at the rubble where she'd hidden from the thugs. She relaxes, though her eyes are still wary. I was running away. There were some people, bad people. I ran away and got hurt. Yeah. I'm not trying to like get all up in your shit, but this doesn't add up. Your story doesn't fit. Who fixed your wound and shaved your head? If you could hardly sit up, how'd you keep running? She scowls at you fiercely. I didn't know I was talking to a judge. I told you I can't remember. Not for days on either side of whatever happened. She looks away, mouth pressed to a firm line. Just trying to help. Seems like you had a rough couple days. Oh, it's not all bad. I found me some shimmery berries today, so that means I get to play I wonder if this will poison me later. That's always exciting. The scar looks bad. Are you okay? She makes a submissive gesture toward her temple. It's fine. It looks a lot worse than it is. It's a lot better than yours, anyway. She smirks, touching the side of her head. The haircut is pretty awful, though, isn't it? I don't think they really need to shave quite this much, do you? Like, this is my answer, because personally I think that look is totally cool. Like, just the shaved head on the one side, so I think it's badass, so I'm just going to say it. That's what I'm going with. She gives a wide grin. I'll be the envy of every homeless waif in this entire... She gestures grandly at the landscape and hesitates. Barrow? Her grin fades and the word comes out of her mouth. Sorry, I meant barrow. She pauses then and says, I know that's not the right word. I mean barrow? Her grin is entirely gone now. Her hands make fists as she looks down at the ground, concentrating. Her lips move, and at first you can't hear anything except for the hint of a whisper. Her body finally relaxes. Yes, neighborhood. That's the word I was looking for. Neighborhood. After apologies, it's been a long day. Do we know anything about the people? I don't really remember. I think they were stealers. No, what's the word? Robbers? They wanted to rob me. Is there anything I can do to help? She shrugs on slightly. I don't know. I'm pretty good here. Unless you happen to have any spare food you weren't using, or water, or a blanket, or a new bed, or house, or, anything at all. She starts out talking with a playful smile on her face, but then her eyes well up. Her voice stays cheerful even as the tears are running down her cheeks. She wipes them away, embarrassed and angry, but her hands are shaking now. There are more tears, and words continue to pour out of her. This writing is fan-freaking-tastic. I offer apologies. It's just I've been hungry for days. I don't know where I am. My head hurts. Nothing makes sense. God's all around me. I'm broken in my head. The moon is wrong. I'm tired of being scared all the time. I'll take care of you. Come on. This sounds... I don't want to sound creepy. It's a little creepy. I'm just trying to, she's got a voice, it's a CRPG and she's got a voice, so she's probably a character. So I'm leaning into it. She blinks up at you and gives a huge grin. Really? So you just, I'm reading into that. I'm now worried. She looks at the tiny next to she was hiding and then back at you. Where are you going? I don't know, but you're safer with me than you were here. Maybe. She wraps her arms around herself. What about those thugs? What if someone else comes after me or after you? I'm not a fighter. I can't help you. It's dangerous whether you stay here alone and come with me. At least me, to learn to take care of yourself. I guess so. Alright, I'll do it. Get my own freaking little girl from the professional.
I'm ready ready if you are.
Sweet. Lost child who shaped gods? Okay, really, I would... I don't know how we didn't catch this at all in the opening. I mean, clearly she can't get everything, but apparently she talks to rocks in her pocket, a rock that lives in her pocket. This character is going to be fantastic. I'm already in. I'm cunning man who pierces realities. Overly impulsive glaive who's as heroic as he believes himself to be. Oh, I mean, if he's heroic at least.
All right.
We got another party member though. Holy shnikes. There's just
Calistesias?
that's CRPG right here. There was a party member that was just
Oh,
under the
I don't
rubble
like that very much.
of this house. And the house had no indication that you could click on it if you hadn't pressed tab. It's insane. That is bananas. It's fantastic. And we're going to call it a full-on accomplishment. Because we're going to say that that's something we did. We did something. We got a new character. We finished at the 5th eye. And it was just because we knew how to press tab. It's a good day. It's a good day. Alright, anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, have a great life, folks.